Welcome! Today we're going to talk about solving one-step inequalities by adding or subtracting, but not really, because subtracting is just adding the opposite. So today we're going to talk about solving one-step inequalities by adding the opposite. Quick reminder, and you can make these as a Cornell note. 5 is less than x. Write that on the left-hand side, and then try and write it using mathematical symbols on the right-hand side. And then a second one, 5 less than x. And again, write it using mathematical symbols. So you can pause using the space bar, write your answer, and then check to see how you did. So 5 is less than. The key word there is, and that means the less than symbol. So this is 5 is less than x. That's how this symbol is read, as is less than. Whereas 5 less than x means you start with x and then have 5 less. So that would be x minus 5. So that's the difference between is less than and less than. Okay. So here's two expressions that I'd like you to write. Again, you can write the expression on the left-hand side in English and try to translate into Mathish. And we'll use highlighters. So the first one, 3 is less than 2 less than x. So we have both the is less than and the less than in this. So 3 is less than. That's where we're going to use the less than symbol. 2 less than x, that's x minus 2. So 3 is less than x minus 2. The second one reads, 4 less than x is less than 10. So try and write that one using mathematical symbols, and we'll check in a moment. 4 less than x is less than 10. So 4 less than x, that's x minus 4, is less than 10, the less than symbol. Very good. This is the property that we're going to use to solve our one-step inequalities. It's called the addition property of inequality. It's nearly identical to the addition property of equality. It says that you can add the same number to both sides of an inequality. It works just like an equation, where we could add the same number to both sides of an equation to isolate the variable. Here is our first example that we're going to solve for h. So this says h plus 25 is less than 12. Our solution is going to have h on one side of the inequality symbol. In this case, it's the less than symbol, and a number on the right. So once again, we can put the line coming down from the inequality symbol. Instead of being the line of equality, as we normally have, this time we have the line of inequality. So what's on the same side with h? 25. To get rid of plus 25, we use the inverse operation, minus 25 on both sides. On the side with h, we have plus 25 and minus 25. They're going to cancel, and so we get h by itself, and on the other side we have 12 minus 25. So I like to flip it and put the negative 25 on top. That way I can borrow if need be. 5 minus 2 is 3, 2 minus 1 is 1, so I have negative 13, and that goes as the answer. So h is less than 13 is the solution. All the numbers less than negative 13 are our solution. To represent all of those numbers, we want to graph it. So we're going to draw a graph and maybe just label 2 points, 0 and negative 13. So negative 13 is our border point, and we're going to circle it. The question is, should the circle be open or closed? And that brings us back to the key point from our previous lesson. When the number is not equal to the variable, then we have an open circle, and that includes the less than or greater than. When it is equal, we have a closed circle, and that includes the less than equal and the greater than equal. So once again, if it's less than, or not equal, or greater than, that's when you have the open circle. If it's less than or equal, or greater than or equal, that's a closed circle. In this case, we have less than, so it's going to be an open circle at negative 13. Now, we want all the numbers that are less than negative 13, so that's going to include all the numbers to the left, negative 14, 15, 16. And notice that the direction of the inequality symbol, less than, faces the same direction. That's only true when the equation is already solved for the variable. In other words, the variable is on the left-hand side. Otherwise, it's reversed. Okay. So here we have a second example. P minus 30 is greater or equal to negative 37. We want to solve and graph. Let's draw the line coming down from the equal sign. To get rid of minus 30, I'm sure you guessed, we're going to add plus 30 to both sides. Negative 30 and positive 30 cancel, and we have isolated P. On the right-hand side, we have negative 37, positive 30. Different sign, subtract, take the sign of the larger. So P is greater or equal to negative 7 is our solution. And we just want to graph that. So we draw the number line and label 0 and negative 7. This time, when we circle the border point, negative 7, should it be open circle or closed? And once again, when you have the equal sign as part of your answer, you have a closed circle. That means that the point is on the graph. So negative 7 is part of our solution, and everything greater than negative 7. That means we're going to the right. Here's one final example. 26 is less than m plus 31. So we want to draw the line coming down from the equal sign. And to isolate m, we need to eliminate the plus 31. We're going to put negative 31 on both sides. So on the left-hand side, we have 26 minus 31. On the right-hand side, we have negative 31 and positive 31, which are going to cancel. I like to flip it. So I have the negative 31 on top. Now I can borrow. So take one from the 3, and that's a 2. 11 minus 6 equals negative 5. Negative 5 is less than m. And that's what we want to graph. We want to graph negative 5 is less than m. The border point is negative 5. Before graphing, I usually like to turn these around because it's easiest to draw the arrow when the variable is on the left-hand side. So flipping this around, remember the direction or the sense of the inequality symbol will also flip around so that the alligator still wants to eat the m, or the small side is still facing the negative 5. We end up with m is greater than negative 5. So what type of circle goes around the border point? Once again, it's going to be an open circle because it's strictly greater, right? That means negative 5 is not really part of the graph. We're only talking about the numbers that are bigger or greater than negative 5, which includes negative 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, and all the positive numbers on the number line.